So,
Okay.
Gigas. Now, obviously, we're both known to play Gigas.
Yeah, here and
What?
there.
Yeah, here and there. Very, very here and there. The more season 3 goes on, I'm like, there's
A little
no
bit of
reason.
regret with that decision.
You know. So, what do you think this character? Like, let's not make this one long because we know already this character is just dry. Like,
Yeah.
what would you think? Like, because to me, it's just like this character. He had a good design at the start, and I was like, yo, this character looks pretty okay. Tentacles
Right.
in the back, and he bigs, like, it just looks good, innit? But it's like, is this character even going to be here for, like, Tekken 8? Like, he just seems so irrelevant.
Right.
Like, no one's really uses him. There are, like, the hardcores, Yojin Boy, you, me, Dotaring. Those are the Shake as well from Japan. He's ridiculous with the character. These are, like, the hardcore Gigas players. And there's probably some more, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But, like, the character needs buffs, but what buffs would you say? Because like he had some good buffs in season 3.33, like the while standing 2 hit confirmable, while standing hit 2-3. I think that's
Down forward 4, 1+2. They buffed that.
+4, or is it +4 on block or
They
something?
made it string together on counter
and,
hit, which
and that too.
That helped a lot. But yeah, all these new characters have come in. Fok, Leroy, they brought in Zafina, and they're just so much better than him. Like, it's like the buffs don't even really matter because they just came in like 10 times better than he could ever be. And then the other thing is, like, they've given him buffs season to season, but they've nerfed some stuff too. And it's like, he could have been so much better off if it was only buffs. Like, why did these nerfs have to come in? Why did they nerf down 3-2? Why did they make it -12 on block when it was -10? Like, was it that good? Like, -10 was fine,
Whoa.
I don't like little changes like that. Like, did you have to nerf him to begin with? I think they reduced the damage on Goliath 1 at one point, right?
Yep. They made it less. Another one as well that they changed that I just think to myself, why, like, so that damage one, but also as well, remember how far, I think, what did it used to do again? I can't remember. The charge setup I think it used to, I can't remember the
Wait,
one.
which move?
Where do you do the, I can't remember.
Charge 1?
Yeah, I can't remember what it done in season 1. But they did change. No, wait, sorry, I'm talking about the wrong thing. The Goliath stance. The one where the kind of touchdown one that he's got. Is that setup golem?
Yeah, the golem.
Okay, cool.
The
the golem stance. Now, why did they make 1 be mid and the 2
unpunishable?
Why?
And 2's a mid.
Why? And it was +7 before. +7.
Right.
Why?
So there's like nothing from the stands. You just block, and then nothing happens, Steve.
Oh, they added in a throw. The 1+2, the only throw he has.
Right. So yeah, I think we're on the same page for like some stuff. Like, why doesn't he have any kind of mix-up out of that stance? Like, you look at like Ganryu going into the stance, and he's got lows. He's got like a power crush. He's got an unparryable low. He can lunge at you. Like, he's got mix-ups, And Gigas is just standing here with his 2 mids and a throw.
Just give him a low. Like, let's agree. If you gave this character a low out of it, maybe because he's got long arms or something like that, maybe if he does the low, if you block it, he's launch punishable. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, because maybe that's the reason why they're not giving him a low, because he has range. But if they did and it was launch punishable, like if it just bam knocks you down, like, but if you block it, you can launch it. Yeah, like that type of stuff would give a mind game. Right now, the only mind game with Gigas is, if there's opponents like Eliza, Master Raven, and characters like that where you can where you have to kind of keep them out forward 4-2. Down forward 4, 1+2, like back 1+2, like just you're kind of basically trying to keep a character out, but then when you're trying to come in, just jab, but there's nothing else there. You are doing bare bones,
right.
This is why I'll always bring it back to the Leroy situation. If I run up to you
You're in the mix.
You're in the mix. I'm at your party. I do what I want now. Yeah. Whereas Gigas is like, hey,
hey, he's the awkward guy at the party.
Yeah, exactly.
He can't know how to introduce himself. He's got no friends either.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I was just wondering.
I'm just wondering, was this the party? Am I in the right one? But yeah, no, like, what stuff would you... Alright, so what 2 things would you give him? I personally think a command grab, another command grab, that's a 1 or 2 break.
Sure.
And a low from golden stance. That's it.
Yeah, I definitely would say another command grab with air throw property on it also. So just like his overkill command grab has the air throw property.
Okay, yeah.
I think his second command grab should also have an air throw property, so they can't just be jumping over it like with hop kicks and orbitals or whatever.
True.
And I think it would be super helpful if they buff the range on down 3. I hate that there's characters that will block while running 2 and then backdash out of the down 3.
Yeah.
And it's just making him lean so heavily on down back 2, and down back 2 is just not good enough to carry the whole character, and that's what they're demanding. They're demanding that he just gets completely carried by down back 2. There are people like they're so sharp they just see it. They see that, and like say they're a character with like a 14 frame launcher, like you're dead,
Master Raven, while started 1. Boom.
So like I'm fighting like I'll be fighting Mac, and like I feel like all I can do is down 4 because like he's gonna see my down back 2 and just kill me.
Yeah.
So I'm fighting with down 4. Like it's not good enough. The 4-4-2 buff was really big. It definitely helps like his neutral a lot. I mean, he's got some stuff, but ultimately I just see him as like a character that you can pick in some matchups some of the time.
Yeah, for real. I think it's hard to... You could never really... Like, I know Dotaring done his figure in that tournament, and he won.
I was about to mention that. Yeah, when someone was like, yo, Dotaring won with Gigas, and I was like, all right, I gotta check this out. And I saw Grand Finals was Gigas versus King. I was like, oh, that makes sense now. Because that's always been one of the matchups where I'm like, yeah, Gigas can win that.
Yeah,
he can win against King.
And that's the thing. The reason why is because you can keep King out. If King needs to come in to throw you.
Jab.
To keep you out. 4-4-2. And this is the thing that people that, you know, that are watching this as well. Like, when it comes to Gigas and the character, if there's a character that needs to be close range, I think Gigas will probably beat Ganryu because Ganryu has to be close. You know? Obviously, he got the 4-for-1+2 and stuff like that as well. But I think, you know, 4-4-2, there's certain things like that, get Ganryu out and stuff like that. I think you could do it. I'm not saying that he wins in the matchup, but I think he could do well in that matchup. And yeah, I think another thing they should change is down back 2 shouldn't be. Is it 13 and 14 frames in it? It's 13, 14, depending on range.
Oh, on block?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got minus 14 and it's pretty slow startup. Yeah, I was gonna say quick, like that said, like you watch that Dotaring set, like it's amazing. Like what he's doing with Gigas is totally amazing. But
it was good. That golden stance, moving back. That will annoy anyone, and then bam, you just come with the shoulder.
Bam, he came up with it. Yeah, he's got that level of creativity and mind games and reads that he really made it work, and I was so impressed.
Yeah.
But like.
That's not gonna work.
I don't know.
That's not gonna work.
Gigas against Zafina, and she's just backdashing everything. Like, I don't know. I don't know how it works, but
yeah, I think down back 2, just make that like minus 12. But then again, it's hard because it's hard. It's hard because it's hard because it's got knockdown in it. So it's a bit difficult, and it's not a sidestep move. Like Geese's sidestep 3 is minus 12, but it's only minus 12. Same with Claudio's sidestep 4. The only reason why these moves are minus 12 is because you sidestep and then do the move. Whereas if it's a standing low and it's like bam and it knocks down counter hits, that would be an uproar. So I'd say minus 13. Just make it flat out minus 13.
It's only a few characters that can launch him, yeah.
Like the Kazuyas, the Josies. That's it, really.
I guess in some ways, like when you think about him, it becomes like maybe a little understandable why he's hard to balance.
Mm.
Because certain things like you want to buff, and then you're like, oh, then he's just gonna be like brain dead. He'll like be a brain dead character. Like you make down back 2 -12, and it's just like, wow, he'd just be so stupid at that point. Like people would just be doing nothing but down back 2.
It's true, but at least make him at somewhat mid tier. This guy's never been mid tier in his life. You know?
There's some things that are just like straight up. They wouldn't like make the character crazy, but they're just like almost common sense. Like why doesn't he have another command grab? You know, it's like simple stuff like that. Why doesn't he have a mix up out of golem stance? That stuff we can agree on is just like obvious.
I think those are the two main things. Like, Bandai Namco, if you watch this, the two main things is the command grab, because we've been asking for this for so long. Like, command grab is just essential for Gigas. He needs to have another command grab. Yeah. And I also think that from the setup golem stance, the football stance where he stand like that, he needs to have a low. I think it should just be like a knockdown low, but if you block, he gets launch punished, and that is fair. You know, like
that's an interesting thing. Like if you hang out in the football stance for like a full second or so, eventually you can do down back 2 from the stance. But it's like, why can't you just access it immediately? Like that would be a start at least. I mean, it wouldn't be great, but if he could at least do his low attack as soon as you go into the stance, it'd be helpful.
Some type of creativity with that stance, because that stance is just. What is the
only
point?
Dodorain can make it work.
just keep going in that stance, hopping back, and then when you feel like it,
that's it, I guess.
All right. So like, but last but not least, let's talk about Jack. So I know obviously you're known for Jack in the tournaments. You know to play quite a few characters. Obviously, Jack is I'd say the kind of the most notable one in the previous seasons.
Right. I used him exclusively pretty much in season 1. I guess like toward the end of season 1, I started using Paul for like the first time. People like, oh, he's using a different character.
So like, obviously, what's your experience with the character? Like, what do you think about the character right now? Because I play a UK player called Dante, and he talks about the character quite a bit, saying buff Jack and all of this stuff. So I want to know how you feel about the character.
Well, so I was emphasizing before how important I think it is to just have like really cheap mechanics in Tekken 7. Mm-hmm. I really value like the rage mechanic of a character. So like Marduk, Fok, Paul, they all have insane rage damage output. Paul, obviously, rage art cancel, rage drive combo extension, rage drive into the wall if they block it, 50-50. Like this stuff is all
cheap.
So important to me.
So cheap.
Sorry, my dog's going crazy.
Nah, it's cool.
So I feel like Jack has begun to suffer because the cheap stuff that he had in season 1 is gone, and he doesn't really have anything comparable to like a Marduk YOLO down forward 1 combo into rage drive into the mount mix up. Like, oh, you guessed wrong, 85%. Like, he doesn't have these like robbery mechanics. I feel like he's very straight up and honest now in a game where there's just wild stuff all over the place. Like, if Jack's gonna steal the round from you, like, he hits you with a few lows and then you whiffed, and then he launched you. Like, and then is that even stealing the round at that point?
It's just fundamentals,
like,
really.
How does Jack rob you? Like, you whiffed. That's how you got robbed. You whiffed. And so there were certain things I really liked about season 1 Jack. They were like kind of like a little bit cheap, a little bit exploitable. Forward 4, the lunging boot kick.
Yeah.
Safe on block, season 1. I really liked just kind of throwing that out. Like, it had a big lingering hitbox. And then they turned that into a power crush that's -14, and like can't really use that anymore. Jackhammer, everyone knows they nerfed the tracking on it, so it's not as abusable. They made a change to his 1-1, so it's like a 13, natural combo.
13 frame block punish, isn't it, right? Oh no, it's not 13 frame. What is it again?
Yeah, 13 frame. 13 frame block punish, and it's very good. It's very powerful, but the range is lacking, so there's like a lot of -13, -14 stuff that it doesn't quite reach. And if you misjudge that distance, it's -14, so you could get seriously hurt just for missing the range on the 1-1. And it's to the point where I almost like the old 1-1 better. It was safe on block. I think it was -6, I want to say. Natural on counter hit. So you counter hit the first one, bomb, bomb, into guaranteed blue upper or down back 2. It was like 60 something damage.
Why did they change it?
Safe. And like that was another one that was like, oh, this is kind of cheap. I like just throwing this out every now and then, and it's safe on block. A lot of the kind of more exploitable stuff like that from Jack is no longer there. And so I'm not as attracted to the character because I really just like cheap stuff.
I mean, you gotta say how it is, you know. You're a tournament player, like all of these tournament players, like, and this is what I want people to understand. There is no shame in saying that, you know, I like doing high damage. I like characters with multiple extensions.
Dude, it's fun. It's the most fun thing about the game is just doing some cheap exploitable strat, and the opponent's like, what do I do about that? And I'm like, nothing. Just hold it.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so fun to me. But
you know, it's obviously Tekken before, I would say back in the day, it was a game where you could pick a character and you could bring out the character by just how they are. That's where it used to be before. But I feel like in this game now, in Tekken 7, nah, you can just literally get robbed. And I think everyone is starting to see that now. Like, you know, I've seen Osan's playing Fakrem. I'm seeing Nee's starting to play Leroy and Fakrem. You know, I'm starting to see other people playing other characters, and it's not the characters that everyone's used to seeing. You know, and this is just the way because of the way how the game is structured right now. You know, the game is structured in this way, and it's like, well, I know everyone does Resident Sleeper for Leroy, Resident Sleeper for Fakrem, but it's like, what do you expect? It's not like we created or we have intel and said, hey, look, create this character. We're just literally saying, all right, this guy's cheap. He's got all of these things.
Yeah.
I want to win. I want to win.
The path to victory, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like, if there was, like, 2 things that you would, I don't know, like, suggest for Jack, what would it be? Like, the 2 things?
Yeah, like, the game has reached this point where, you know, you try playing Jack against Fakrem, and it's like, what is this? You know, he's, like, getting insane block punishment on every risk that I go for. So if Jack's going to compete with that standard of character, like Leroy and Fak, he needs, like, something kind of crazy, like something cheap where people are like, why does he have that? You know, he needs that. I don't know exactly what it would be. I was, like, brainstorming a few things. Maybe just, like, some kind of crazy counter hit launcher, like in neutral. Make like, I don't know. I'm just, like, spitballing, like, back 2, like, give him, like, crazy damage on counter hit. Forward 3, make counter hit launcher, like something that's just kind of dumb. Because if you're picking him against Fak, the best thing about Jack is always supposed to be his range, but he's getting outranged by Fak. He throws out his down forward 2, like, on a keep out read. It gets blocked. He loses 50 life on an easy back 1 punish.
Yep.
He's getting bullied by while running 3s. Like, Fox just flying across the screen, getting +9 because Jack is, like, too big to reliably step it. Like, he's just getting bullied by this newcomer, and he needs some cheap stuff to compete with that. So I would say, like, a counter hit launcher, like, in neutral, that's kind of like, wow, he has that. Like, I would be in favor of that. Back 2 might be it. I don't know. Like, it'd be kind of wild, but why not?
He definitely needs something, like, just to fight off against these type of characters, because it's literally like you can't do anything because, you know, his fastest move is forward 2, right? Forward 2 is the 10th. Is it 10th frame or 11? 10 frame. Yeah, so 10. He's got that. But if I'm crazy and ballsy and I'm like, yeah, jab, down for 1, and I'll just duck. Forward 2. I am going to be with Leroy and doing while standing 2. You're going to lose damage. And it's like,
really negative, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, give him something, like, just something. Like, I'm all even thinking that even give him a parry, give him.
Jack a parry.
No, that just like you go like that, like you know the inner
Oh, the
torment.
P-Jack?
Yeah, the
P-Jack.
P-Jack. Yeah, give him that.
But it's like a parry though.
Yeah,
That would be so sick.
It's like a back off like type of mechanic. But if you do it, well, but this game's gone crazy as it is.
I
bro.
know. Yeah, why not? Why not? I
Why
know
not?
exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean? So I know people be like, Jay, no, but
Jay, no.
at the end of the day, it's just where we're at with this game. They cannot nerf any characters anymore. It's just there's too many. The game's bloated now. There's 49 characters. Where would you start changing things? Because like there's other things with other characters I've seen. Master Raven's wall damage is ridiculous. Leo's undercover good that people are not really exploiting and seeing. Like there's so many characters that are actually really good in this game, and it's like, where do you start picking things and taking things away from characters?
I'm pretty much in support of like the 5.0 treatment at this point, where like everybody gets something that's like broken. Everyone gets something that's super cheap and just like let it rock, because trying to fine tune the balance between like these weak characters and then these newcomers that just come in with everything, it's too much. Like a lot of people are always saying like, oh, you gotta nerf the high tiers and like level it out this way. I'm like, I say just make it like 5.0 and just make everybody just cheap as hell.
Yeah,
It's the last season. You might as well.
it's true. Shoot, would you think about like, so there is another thing I wanted to say. So do you reckon that he needs another rage drive? You know, like Steve has 2 rage drives. Do you reckon he needs?
Jack.
Yeah, do you think he needs another rage drive? Like a combo continuer, like, you know, like the ones like Miguel and who else has them?
There's all sorts of them. Like Leo can re-wall splat, Paul can re-wall splat with their rage drives, and Nina can re-wall splat with her rage drive.
Do you know? Do you think yeah? If Jack had the that one, the forward, is it forward 1+2, and that was
right.
Imagine if that was like a rage drive, but it splats you as in a combo. Like you could do bam bam bam, down forward 1-1. Pow! And you splat from bare far, and then back one to lift him up. Well, Jack would be OD.
That'd be pretty tight.
Exactly, he needs something like that, man. Like that debug one. Like, don't get me wrong, it's okay. It does catch people off guard when you're really trying to create space and movement, and you know you're under pressure in tournament. But
I think it's fallen so far behind. Like if you look early on in the game, that rage drive was considered like really scary. And now
we just know there's so
many rage drives like completely outclass it. I mean, Steve's got like the launching Sonic Fang, like it reaches so far. 14 frame launchers. Athena has a 14 frame launching rage drive, plus 19 on block. Like
the game has evolved, man. And then Fatgram's got 2. Fatgram's got Fatgram's got 2.
He's got a million of them, but
but the second one can be cancelled from all of these.
Right. And just the thing, like the fact that he can do back one into his rage drive for like a 65 damage whiff punish or something like that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So there's like all this utility to some of these rage drives, like on top of just being like insanely rewarding just when they hit, but they can be used like to extend combos. Jax is just very bare bones. Like it's a debugger that does more damage. So I feel like his rage drive has fallen behind a little bit. I don't foresee them like really changing that rage drive, but I mean it's an idea. If they gave him a second one, that would be tight. I'd love that.
That's what I'm saying. Just even the back 2. The other one goes. Is the back 2 that goes? Shh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even if
pop off, yeah.
Exactly. Even if you do the combo, bam bam, and it's just like, boom. You're like, bro, what?
He's so sick, man.
Like, you know, just one thing that would make him just somewhat like just something cheap, because there's nothing cheap. There's nothing cheap about Jack. If you lose to Jack, you can't say, oh, I got out, bro. Like you just got outplayed, because you froze, or you couldn't break the throw. That's your fault. Anything else, like if you got hit by a forward 1, don't be pressing buttons and you're not nowhere near him.
Yeah,
simple.
He used to be a bit higher up, like on that cheap hierarchy like season 1, but I feel like he's really fallen behind the way the game has evolved. And so yeah, when I see someone win with Jack, it's kind of like, wow, they played like amazing neutral, amazing conditioning, and like reads on what the opponent wanted to do. Like he's not performing robberies like these other characters. So yeah, some robbery mechanics, new rage drive, maybe a cheap counter hit launcher in neutral. I mean, I think it's justifiable at this point.
The way how the direction is for sure, man. But yeah, man, bro, thank you so much for letting me know your Tekken 7 Season 4 wish list.
This is fun.
It's
fun conversation.
It's definitely been a fun conversation. There's gonna be many more as well of these. Obviously, we're leading up to Season 4. We don't know when it is. Usually happens. When it happens, it happens. We get an update and we're like, yeah.
I'm excited about it. Like, you never know what they're gonna do, so at least the unpredictability makes it exciting.
And every character has a new move.
Yeah.
But then you gotta think about 2Ds.
2Ds with new moves. It's gonna be exciting. It'll be cool.
We'll see how it goes, man. But bro, take it easy, man. Thank you very much.
You too, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Simmer down. Simmer now. Couple kicks to your boat. I'm a winner now. Like Eddie with the feet. I'm a killer now. Simmer down. Simmer now.